Right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How is everyone doing today? Looks like you can hear me. If you guys could just give me a confirmation of it, that would be awesome. Um, yeah. Welcome to I don't know. I'm gonna say kind of a boring Friday. The yen absolutely got smoked. Yeah, yen got smoked. Um, had some data worse for the pound than expected, but there was also a change to the previous as well. Um, Not as much pound movement as you would have think or you would have thought. It looks like that forecast wasn't actually looked at as the market as being real. Looks like they were all on board as what again, we kind of expected it to be not as good, right? A little negative, right? And it was down 1%. Again, everybody's retail sales are horrible. And you can see not really tons of movement off of it whatsoever. I mean, dollar US down 3, euro pound down 6. Obviously, pound yen is up huge, but again, that is because of the yen, not because of the pound. So it is what it is. Retail sales just came in. They adjusted the previous to not great, as well as the new one. Wasn't as bad as expected, but the previous was worse though. So it's kind of like a how do we look at this? It's kind of like it's a little bit of a split thing, right? Um, Overall, we should see the dollar CAD creep up a little bit from this one. 1 o'clock today, we have Waller speaking, and again, we talked about it yesterday. It's kind of eh, more of kind of like a international kind of just I don't know. I wouldn't say it's a big thing. Um, Not really a major market move or anything like that. So nothing we need to kind of worry about on that one. Excuse me. I was going to say. Oh, so looking at some of the news that we had overnight, there's some interesting in here, right? First one being this, right? The European Central Bank says that China's COVID reopening will push inflation higher, particularly because they are competing for energy. So again, yeah, is what it is. Where was the other one? And where is it? Absolutely essential. Warns of crisis opening. Yep, there's this one here too. So this is, I think, what has to do with a lot of the yen movement. Um, yeah, drop in the U.S. holdings. Not necessarily surprised by this whatsoever. Again, with the hawkish tone, again, bonds have an inverse relationship to interest rates. As interest rates go higher, bonds go lower. So China is dumping them. What I think is interesting here is, China holds about 870 billion worth of U.S. Treasury bonds, the lowest amount since June 2010. So, it's not like last year. That's been a while, right? They're cutting it by about 24 million. Um, I see this as going to be a continued trend. Um, yeah, I expect that we're going to continue to see this going forward, particularly with the kind of jumps back and forth. Um, Particularly because, again, if they decide to go after Taiwan, will they try to block them out of the system too? I think is a big concern. Again, 870 is a lot, so it's a little different than what we have with the Russian situation, but I feel like it's still sitting out there, and they're like, "Yep, we're gonna dump it. We're gonna dump it." Right? Um, Here's another one. Also thought this was a very interesting one this morning as well. Basically says that the U.S. wants to oppose China, which is 100% correct, where the EU wants to engage it. It's like, right? They want to work with China to tackle climate change, furthering trade, where the U.S. wants to oppose it. We want to engage, right? Gotta say, they're not wrong, right? They're not wrong. Um, yeah, they're not wrong. I love this too. Some of the comments are awesome, right? The U.S. is sending arms to India just to counter China. Um, I don't know. They're not, it says the U.S. will engineer war between India and China. India and China are actually not, at each other's throats. They're both agreeing to buy, gasoline and stuff and oil from Russia. So, I mean, they're kind of on the same side. A lot of people over there. So, yeah, some interesting kind of like, I would say, kind of um, some anti-U.S. kind of statements, right? Anti-U.S. economic statements. So, we'll see. But besides that, kind of a boring Friday, right? This one hasn't been great all week, 4, 5, 13, 7, minus the 2 yen plays out there. I mean, I guess the 60 is not horrible, but 10, 23, feel like people are already out for vacation early, right? Maybe they're hitting the slopes. Maybe they're out skiing. I don't know. But they're not really in the markets right now. They're not going crazy. So let's look across to the VIX. So the VIX, after yesterday's news, we mentioned that, hey, listen, it's probably going to go down. There's really nothing else out there yesterday, right? And it did. It just continued to drop, kind of went right back down to where buyers were. And then in the overnight, a couple of these overnights, yesterday was decent. Here a little bit, here a little bit, here a little bit. Last night, just flat, nothing, right? Nothing, just going sideways. So, yeah, that's kind of what we're dealing with in the markets. The VIX is really not moving. Indices, you can see, 2 up, 2 down. Not really sure what, how to take things. They were all up a little while ago. But again, market opens, it's an immediate kind of shift back again where you'd see them start to roll. So, I don't know. You're not going to be able to take much from that one, unfortunately. Looking at over at the Dixie, right? So the Dixie in the overnight, you can see, here's the European Open. We got a little bit of a push up. Are we really outside of this trajectory? Have we kind of gotten to the top or bottom? No, not really, right? I mean, we did break through all the sellers up here right around that 61.8 pullback area, right? Haven't broken all the way back down again. And if anything, I would say we just kind of tightened the channel a little bit. And the question is, what happens when the European market is officially closed for the day and we lose any type of European support, right? Will this market start to dry up very, very quickly going into the weekend? And I have a feeling that it probably will. We've had some decent headlines and there's a little bit of movement in here, right? Some euro strength versus the dollar. Or I'm sorry, some dollar strength right now. But we're not seeing the euro strength or the pound strength necessarily versus the dollar. So it's going up, but I truly wonder how much of this, though, is actually just coming from the yen news and nothing actually dollar-based. Again, because we know a lot of that is dumping bonds and, the interest rate went up in China, or in Japan. So, again, it's kind of almost like a dollar proxy, I guess, right? Kind of like a dollar proxy play versus an actual, any type of fundamental news that is changing the trajectory of where the U.S. dollar is going to go today. Really, none of this is like, looking at this, it's like, it's all right. It's okay. But is it great? Not really, right? There's nothing in there where you're like, yep, that's it. So what do we do with the rest of this? If anything, I would say that because the overnight was kind of more up, I would say that we're probably looking more for, a potential pullback at this point, kind of to suck it back in the middle of the range. And again, not what we want if we, we're looking for trades on a Friday. Okay. Looking at the commodities now, natural gas up 1.7, but honestly, with the volatility natural gas has had, a slow day for natural gas right now is 3%, 4%. 1.25 is absolutely nothing. It's like a basic, just a simple like blip right on that one. So this one is not really bad, right? Oil down a little bit, right? I wish it was down 4%, not 0.4%. But unfortunately, that's all we got. 0.4%. Gold and silver, both down. We talked about them being high and looking for, shorting opportunities in both those. So, they're going down, but not much. Right now, gold is down 0.5. Silver is down 0.25, like half of what it, gold is. So, it's all right. It's okay. I wish we had more on it. There's nothing much there. Looking across, going over the Aussie dollar. This is where we stand. So yesterday we were talking about a potential Harry Potter, and it kind of gave us a little bit more of a kind of confirmation here this morning, right? Yesterday we were sitting kind of right in this area. Actually, 10:30 is right here. We did have that reversal back again. And again, we kind of had a pop, and a pop. I love how much it's hit this area. We talked about here's a confirmed level that was just a little bit too far, and that's the level that we kicked into this morning at European session. So we talk about European-based trades. There's your 3 o'clock candle. Oops. Not looking for a forecast. Looking for this one right here. We'll drag this back so you guys can see where this one went to. 1 to 3 is sitting right there. So it's out, right? It's small trade. A 10 for 30 in the overnight on the Aussie dollar. Not horrible, right? But it's unfortunately done for right now. And when you look at this, we're back in an area of sellers, which kind of, again, shows a little bit of dollar strength, but is it massive amounts? Is it a good reversal opportunity? Not really, right? Not really. If you look at this, you're like, well, what do we do with it now? It's kind of, it's in an area where we have sellers. They've been there twice. Do we take dollar strength right now? I would expect some, right? I would see some dollar strength coming in just because it is the U.S. session, but Can we still take it now, or is the trade already happened today? Are we grasping for like a third or fourth attempt here, trying to squeeze something in and forcing it? And I feel like that's kind of where I'm leaning towards. That it is more of a force, right? It's already been to this level once, actually twice. This would be hit number 3. How much more opportunity can we potentially have out of this? And I just don't feel like it's that much, right? So again, use it with a grain of salt, but I feel like we're gonna have a little bit of dollar strength roll back in. And again, I think the best opportunity in this one still is going to be this Harry Potter as we come through and break. We can set it right here and say, 1 to 3 is sitting right there. Now, will we have time to clear all that space? That's the big question today. I mean, we need to break the zone. We need about 25 pips. We got to go a little bit farther down. We got to get a pullback. So we got to get 35 down, little bit of a pullback, and then move another 63 pips on the day. It's got a 92 pip ATR, but it is Friday. And, besides, Harker speaking later today, there's not really a whole lot of catalyst. There's not like an ISM number or anything like that at 10 o'clock today that's out there to stimulate this one. So I'd love to say down. I don't know if we're going to really have enough time for this one, but we'll see. Maybe, maybe it picks up in the next, I don't know, half hour. We go and break that zone and we got a little bit of a pullback and then we have a slow trail this afternoon. So it's possible. But again, we got to have a certain, a couple things happen first before we can really be like, yep, that's it. We're taking it short. We really needed to get down here by 12 o'clock. Like, this is a trade. If you're going to get in this one, you got to get in before 12 o'clock. If you get in after, I just don't think there's going to be enough time today on Friday with the amount of volatility that we have in the market right now. It's just not there. As well as, I don't know. I mean, I guess Harker could say something, but it's just not enough, right? So we need to be into this trade by 12 or it's a no, it's a no entry. And maybe probably, a Sunday night based trade there, something like that, right? Also yen. So also yen, you can see we mentioned this area. We said we liked it, and true, right? 1030 kind of kicked back and then hit it again and then hit again. You're like, yeah, it's going to go long. And it did. It came long here and decided to go all the way back up again. Formed a level before the 50, but again, not really anything explosive. We knew we had a small level here, and that's kind of what it's bouncing off of right now. If you look at all the yen pairs, like there's a lot of movement in the yen pairs. Looking at this one, though. Bye-bye. Come here, Kip. It's not as impressive as the other ones, right? The other pairs with the yen were a lot more impressive. Hello, Bubbuds. Okay, you can keep playing. Go ahead. Sorry, he was in the other room. I couldn't hear him. He was, whenever he's quiet, I know he's getting into trouble. You're okay, Bubbuds. So are we at an area where we could see a turn and flip at this one? Yeah, probably. I mean, again, the yen is overextended at this point. This one is up 1.76%, which is a decent move, but for the most part, I think the euro yen, pound yen, dollar yen are all much better opportunities right now than looking at the Aussie yen. And when you're looking at how this one went up, it really didn't have the explosive nature. It was just kind of grindy like everything else, like some of the other, not as important pairs. So not really anything great. It is up to the 61, so we know people will be stepping in there. Again, we did have a bit of a hiccup right here, and we kind of missed that, but being a 61, being the fact that we, kind of hit this small area here and kind of chop through it. Yeah, it's in a reversal level, and if it gets drugged down, is it a probable trade? Yeah, I mean, it's most likely going to reverse. It's just, will it move far enough to our liking? And will we be able to get the full profit target? And will this be the best or the strongest pair to take the reversal in? And the answer is, I don't think so. I think some of the other yen pairs will be better. So just use your caution. Some of you may be specialists in this one and like this one the most. And if that's the case, then again, you can take it. But I would say that I am thinking more of a kind of a bullish stance on this. Or I'm sorry, a bearish stance on this one, just because we've had so much movement lately in it. What's up, Kip? You're making noise now, Bubbuds. What you want? Oh, I was making sure he's okay. He's just whining. You're all right. What are you doing? You're all right. All right, he's okay. What? What are you doing? You're good. You're fine, buds. You're good. All right, so euro dollar. Now, euro dollar, when you look at this, you're like, oh, look at this, man. It's just swinging everywhere. We've moved 7 pips. What? We've moved 7 pips in 24 hours. So it's gone up. It's gone down. Is it a major mover? What? You can have that if you want. You can have that. Here, you can have all this fun stuff. It's okay. I mean, yesterday we were sitting here 10:30, we said we had a level here, but it was too close to take any Harry Potter. We were looking for 107.75. It bounced down here right at 10:30. I mean, 10:30 was literally the low. It went down to 107.83. So again, we missed it by what, eight pips. Um, you know, not whoops. Um, is what it is. It rallied back up again. Europe, it didn't quite make it back up to the top. Europeans flicked us in over right here around 3 o'clock and drove us back down again. We're not at the lows. We're not at the highs. We're kind of floating in the middle. And again, if you look at this, we're seeing a little bit of dollar weakness now as we kind of roll into the session. We have some profit taking. Again, Europeans flicked this one. I'll just move this over. There's your 3 o'clock. And there's the start of the U.S. session at 9:30. So that's what we're looking at. Again, this is an area where we should see some selling. We will see some basing coming back in. Will there be enough trajectory in this one? Maybe. I guess we could get a headline. There could be something that comes out of it, but I don't know. I just don't think there's enough of a catalyst today. So, being the fact that we're not in either level, I don't think this is a setup for today. If you're not ordering this from the early morning session, I just don't think there's any opportunity. Now, going into Sunday, because again, it is Friday, so we can talk about what Sunday night trades could potentially look like. Really, it's going to have to move. It's going to have to move enough. I'm going to have to go with the same stance of what we were talking about yesterday. The 107.75 is a decent bottom. It's okay, right? If we can run it down today, get some dollar strength coming to this market once the European market is closed, that could be an area where we see a reversal, maybe a gap into that on Sunday night. I don't know. It looks like it's still working. I don't know. Can everybody else hear me? Just want to let you guys know that the baby is now drinking my coffee. He's trying to anyway. I don't know. Let me know if you can hear it. I can see the soundbar moving. Yeah, I can see the soundbar moving. So, I don't know. I know you guys have a delay too, so. Okay, good. All right, that works. It sounds like it's a Dallas problem. Yeah, so it's a Dallas problem. Them Texans. Right? Them Texans. So, yeah, so if we bounce this one down, again, this could be a decent Sunday night opening. It's got to move just enough. I mean, we're talking about another 40 pips to the downside. It can do that today, absolutely. Again, it would be dollar strength, but also match what we're looking for in the Aussie weakness, or in the Aussie dollar as well. So, that weakness coming in. So, there's trade setup. I'd say it's okay. It's not the best of trades. We got to kind of wait for things. But again, it's Friday. You guys know my opinion on Fridays. All right. Euro pound looks exactly the same. All it did was drive it back down. We had the strength coming back in. This one did go a little bit lower yesterday. Looks like 11 o'clock, not 10:30, was the bottom of the day. And we did go off a level down here. We had mentioned it before, but kind of the same thinking. We need this one to rally down a little bit more. Right now, where we are, we're kind of stuck. I mean, there was a European trade right here. You can see that this is the 4 o'clock window, which again was the news time this morning. Actually, I guess it came in at 2. So it came in a little bit early. Yeah, here's the 2. So it was kind of a news reversal on there. It's all right. I like the level up top, so we'll just delete that one. I don't want you guys to think they were like, yep, you cherry picked it. Nope. Ooh, puppets. We don't want to do that. There we go. Here we go. Take this. Yeah, you can play here. You want to play with this on the ground? That would be even better. Here, grab it. Here you go. Whoops. You can have it. Here. Here. There we go. All right. So for me on this one, I think we have a balance that's potential coming in. If we can go all day with pound strength coming in, again, is the pound strong? Not really. We're seeing the retail sales were there, and again, the forecast didn't matter. The market didn't necessarily believe in the forecast, so we're seeing it go back down again. I think we have. Let me see. Sunday, Saturday. Yeah. So Monday we do have some kind of a speech coming through. So I'd kind of like for this to go on. I do believe that the EU is going to talk about, again, they've kind of foreshadowed it today, talking about how with China reopening, it's going to drive inflation higher. I feel like they potentially may mention that, talk about it Monday with what the next rate looks like for the ECB. And I think that could give us some euro strength. So Monday, actually, Sunday into Monday, I'm actually looking at some euro strength to roll into the market. So right now, that meets the narrative of what we're looking for this pair. Having it kind of, hold on one sec. He's got the microphone cord wrapped all the way around his leg. Yeah. I'd like for this one to come down. I'd like to get long on this one probably Sunday night into Monday morning. I think there's a decent bounce operating to it in here. So that hurt, buds. I think that's a good setup. Euro yen. Now it's funny. On this one, you're like, oh God, look at this. European weakness, right? But then you look over here and you're like, whoa, what's going on? Well, it's the yen, right? As you can see, we talked about we talked about the Aussie yen, and it was a grind. It wasn't a pop. You can see late last night, this one really took off, and then the European just took off again. Ernest is having so many problems. I don't think it's frozen. I don't know. I feel like this is a Dallas problem. It's a Dallas. Yep. It's a Dallas problem, Kipster. Right? Right, buds? Is it an Ernest problem? Yeah, it's an Ernest problem, I think, right? I don't know. If it's frozen, let me guys know. I will go back a couple minutes and repeat what I said. But anyway, I like how this one is high. Again, my opinion on the Aussie yen was that we would start seeing some profit taking come in. And again, not as great over there, but I thought it would be better in other pairs. Kip, buddy. Yes. There. You can play with that, but we cannot bang the keyboard. I do think this one turns and rolls. Now, it's a very hard trade to set up. We talked about the 786 level being pretty decent up here, right around the 141.57 mark. I still like that one. I don't love the 786, so to me, it does nothing for me. It's not like it's like, oh man, taking this with the 786. I like how the 786 supply zone up here stopped this, and that was the immediate push. And I like how these candles came back and grabbed that level. So I am a fan of a short up here. What are you doing? I'm wondering if we got one more push, then I think it's a decent trade to take today. But otherwise, stop, Kip. You're about to hear a crying baby. No. You can take this. You can smash it on the floor, but we're not going to smash it into the keyboard. Yeah, you can put that on the ground. I'd like if we could get one more push, right? If we can get one more push up, I think it'd be a great level to take. It is a Friday. So that's why I'm kind of cheering for this one to give us one more, give us the old hee-ho, just one more higher. Here's why. Again, obviously today is a big yen weakness day. If we can put ourselves right here, I think this is a great opportunity to take it short. Again, this is what we've seen on Friday. This is outside of what a normal range is for the day. I mean, just since like really 7 o'clock last night, we're talking about 216 pips. A daily ATR is 177, so if we can get just one more push, I think Sunday night we look to take this sucker short, okay? So I'm liking this one for a Sunday night setup. Today, we may be able to get it. I'm hoping it doesn't roll back and kind of close over here. I really want it to close somewhere up in here and then open up a little bit higher up in this 150, 155 area. That would be, come on, stop. Please stop. Here, you can hear. Here, take it on the floor. Look. Boom. Get it. Here, buds. Here. So again, I like it up top. I don't think this risk level is horrible for this pair either. It looks a little bit big, and it's about 30 pips, but again, this one's moving 177 in a day. So there's plenty of room for it. But that's one that's kind of on the radar. And again, if you wanted to set an alert, you could. You absolutely could set something. I would set it probably right around here. Or again, if we open above 141.51, one day you will hack yourself. Yeah, there's Dallas service providers. Anything above 141.51, unless there's like some earth shattering, like Japan is sinking or something like that, or Russia's crossed another border or China's crossed the border. I think it's a pretty decent short coming from this level. Pound dollar. So pound dollar totally flat. 11 pips in 24 hours. You can see from yesterday morning, we're actually sitting here. We kind of rode up into the overnight. Market ended. Europeans push it right back down again, and we're kind of stuck in the same area. I don't really see it leaving the trajectory too much. 124, you can see that there's a big block of sellers sitting right there, right? Back and forth, nothing. Then European market opened here. Look at the numbers. We're sitting right at 124 flat. So I feel like that 124 number is going to be something that's going to take a little bit of oomph to be able to get through. I don't think it's going to be as easy as some of the other levels we've seen, particularly going into the weekend. I mean, again, think about it. We just had really, really crappy pound data this morning, and yet it's holding firm, right? Their retail sales were not only worse than expected, but they had to readjust last time to bad too. So it's like bad on top of bad, but everybody expected it, and it didn't really change its trajectory because it was already factored into the market. So yeah, that's what we're kind of dealing with on this one. Yada yada. So as far as where we take this one, so a couple things I'm looking at. Obviously, we know we have an area up top, right around the 124.20ish range if you can get through here. I don't know that I'd use this for a Sunday night, but I do think up here could be a good potential Sunday night base trade. I like that one. I don't think that's horrible, right? I think that's pretty good. Question is, if we just flatline from here and do absolutely nothing, what do we do with this one? Problem is, we're not at an extreme high. We're not at an extreme low. Kind of a hard one. Remove this from the other day. We don't need this anymore. I'm going to pull this off. Obviously, we got a little area right here that's been hit a few times. Let's see. Problem is, we got all kinds of stuff in here. I don't think there's enough room in this one. I mean, maybe... What you doing, buds? I mean, 1 to 3 is right there. It's a little bit deep over there. What you got? What are you doing? I see you. What I would like to see. Let me see, buds. Give me a sip of my coffee real quick. So my thinking on this one. I would like to get short the dollar pound for next week. I do think that this is a pretty decent. Well, you drink it. You can't. You're not supposed to have coffee. You're too young. If we could get, I don't know, some basing maybe here, right? If we could get some near-term basing, maybe today, maybe we hold there. If we can open down here, like if this is where, buddy buds, come on, you're gonna go. No, you're not. You cannot have coffee. I feel like that on the inside too. It's always funny. Like I feel his pain. Like, yeah, I know. This is how I am without coffee, but all right, you can sit here, but we cannot here. But you still can't have coffee. I know. I know. I know. Here. Here. Hold on one sec, guys. I'm gonna try to bribe him with some Peppa Pig. When in doubt, go to Peppa Pig. Right? There we go. There's some Peppa for you. So if we can get some basing, we're not going to put Peppa in the coffee. If we could get some basing up here, the Harry Potter right here does get a little bit better. So if we can get it open, let's see, we're Sunday night. If we can open here on Sunday and get a little bit of a pullback, I think that could lead us into the short. As I said, we know that the U.S. is going to continue to raise interest rates. I really don't think the pound can. I mean, the pound is already doing really, really dismal. I don't think that they can. Again, we know that they've kind of peaked a little bit. We've seen their overall year-over-year inflation rate come down. I don't know that their economy can stomach much more interest rate rises. I feel like the pound will be one of the first ones to stop and pause, in which would be a tremendous amount of pound weakness. So I'm kind of looking for this one to maybe push down a little bit today, gap a little bit lower, and then on the pullback, I'm looking to take this one short on Sunday night into Monday morning. And I do feel next week, swing trade-wise, I do feel like this is more of a short opportunity that we're looking to get into. So kind of where we're at. Pound yen. So pound yen. Pound yen is moving, right? Pound yen is moving. There was a trade in this one. You know, it's funny. You always see this where there's a short trade in a big, long move. And people are like, what? How did you get short? Like, what? Very simple, right? We knew we had levels over here, right? We knew that 160 was going to be a big deal, right? We hit this one late last night. So if you guys remember yesterday, what I was saying was, this would be one of those ones you want to look at before you go to bed, right? It was a late night base trade setup. Now I'm looking at this and I say, hey, listen, we got a lot of shot back in here. I know I got a 61.8 there, and I know I got a 160 sitting all in the same area, right? Now, price was right in here when I was looking at this. I was like, all right, you know what? If it turns here, not the end of the world. No harm, no foul, right? With the news coming in, the way that this was rallying higher before news, it was kind of like, I think there could be a short. Now, in all fairness, the news came in at the line. Okay? The news came in at the line. So Ideally, I was looking for it to be there for news. It wasn't, right? But this is why we have the ability to put in limit orders. It was able to fill here, and it actually was already in when news happened, and then triggered and went all the way lower. So it was an easy trade. It was 10 pips for 60 in the other direction. Always nice if you can grab that one. This one was out at basically 2 o'clock in the morning. It came right with the news, but you can see it peaked really, the low was basically 2:30, 3 o'clock this morning. And then it took off. So, ideally I said, oops. Okay, sorry, I just clicked on the wrong button. I was like, uh-oh, what happened? Nope. Okay. I got a pop up so I can't see stuff, but we will see. All right. Fun. All right. So we said that look to see what happened during the day, and then we'd be looking to trade it. Now, again, the U.S. session, again, it's funny. Crappy news, and boom, you're seeing all this. And again, it was almost so bad that it was good, right? We're in that whole era of bad is good. It was that bad, and it gained this much because the yen was just that bad. It's funny. It is truly that bad. So where do we go with this now? Kind of the same thinking. I actually have all the pairs. I actually kind of like this one the most. Just because, Aussie yen, Euro yen, pound yen, all look exactly the same. But this one to me had the most explosive move, and both currency pairs were actually in play. Now, I do think we're going to be, for the Euro yen on this one, I do think we are going to start seeing some Euro strength come in. So it doesn't necessarily match the same way, but the Aussie yen and pound yen both look very similar. They're both kind of weak currencies right now. I don't think they have as much risk to become strong suddenly. But where we're at, this one is poised very, very high, right? We're very high in the curve. We have a level up here now. Stop. Did it again. We do have a level up here. Unfortunately, I'd like if the green was higher, not the red. So that's not the ideal setup. I do like how it had a quick touch and a turnaround. And that's where we're bouncing off of now. Now, am I ready to take this one long today? I feel like we have a little bit more room before this one is ready to go, or a little bit more time, right? We do have the yen proxy in play today. Obviously, the Asian market is closed. We have the European market closing rather soon, and they are in reversal territory. But the question is, are the European traders that are involved in this one, are they going to look at it and say, hey, listen, we got enough time. The U.S. is still open. Are they going to say, hey, we're done. We sold at the top. Let's take this one and roll it in the next week. And I kind of feel like that's the higher probability right now that this one is going to start running out of gas. But I like where it is because I think for Sunday night, I think this puts up a decent trading opportunity for us to be able to take this short Sunday. So I'm excited about this one. I'm hoping that the movement doesn't just go absolutely insane today and screw this one up. But I do like this one to the downside. Okay. If you're looking to get into it now, again, a little bit riskier just for the fact that, again, European market's closing in 2 hours. What will be the motivating factor besides having the yen as the proxy, right? What will be the catalyst for the movement in this one? And unfortunately, it's starting to get a little bit thin, right? Buddy, what are you doing? What you doing, huh? Yeah, so again, I would say hi, right? Let's remove this. We can take this off right now. No, you have to stay on that one. Stop. Stay on this one. Yeah, stay on this one. Here, stay on this one. I need to figure out how to screen lock this so we can't change it. You're gonna hear me open the coffee. Yep, he saw me open the coffee. Oops. It's so funny. Like, it's amazing. Like, I just have one of those, if you guys are hearing the clicking, you're trying to figure out what I'm talking about with he's seeing the coffee or opening it. I just have a regular coffee travel mug, with like the tops that click, like a little Contigo coffee mug, right? You guys all have those. Well, unfortunately, it's one of those ones that like it snaps. It's got the little snap that opens and closes it. So, I mean, he can literally hold this thing upside down, but it's the same that his sippy cups are. So his sippy cups have the same exact thing. So I think that he believes my coffee is one of his sippy cups, just metal, right? But he's trying to push the button. I'm like, the last thing I want you to do is drink, an 18-ounce black coffee. Like that would definitely make my day more challenging, right? But it makes a great picture. But I feel like child services would be like, son, are you're feeding your son, black coffee? I feel like I'm setting the wrong precedent here. But he's not. It's locked, so he's not actually drinking it. But he's trying like heck, right? And he's trying to open it. But anyway, looking for a reversal in this one. I kind of want this one, the flat one. I do want it to die. I do want to get short this one. And again, an easy way to play this one. Again, we can kind of see where we're at. Sunday night is right here. So even if we do push a little bit above this one, wherever we end, I mean, let's say we end here, right? I think that's okay. If we open up just a little bit lower, say we if we open anywhere lower than where the current price was, look for any type of a pullback into that level, and we look for a short on Sunday night. This one, all right? That's kind of what we're looking at. Dollar CAD. So dollar CAD, you're seeing this when you're like, wait a second, what the heck is this? Right? What's going on here? Right? Well, retail sales was bad, but it was not as bad as it could have been, right? It wasn't as bad as it could have been. So it's considered positive for the CAD, right? Now, existing home sales was good, but that's a little bit different. Here we go. George, the economy is responding to work that the Fed is doing. The focus on inflation pressures we continue to see in the service sector. The Fed must be more patient in determining whether inflation is on a substantial down path. Inflationary pressures are expected to persist. We're in a good place today. Okay. All right. Yeah. So nothing earth-shatteringly important there. But anyway, we're seeing this drop. Kind of as we should. It was decent data. Now, stop. So, stop. You're going to end up hitting on another button, and I'm going to lose it again. Come on. Watch your Peppa. Watch your Peppa. Come on. Look, there's George Pig. There's George Pig. He thinks I'm talking about him. And he's going back for the coffee again. And he's pretending to drink the coffee again. Buddy, I appreciate the work effort today. It's awesome. So this was an old level. We talked about it before. It just was like ding, 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 ding. We never got the pullback. It went up to its full target. We talked about 135.10. That's exactly where it turned. Came back down again. Had a little bit of a test today. And is driving lower. So, on this one, I would say that there is, we could potentially use this trade. The zone on this one was a little bit higher now. There is a lot of room to run on it. So I do think eventually this one is able to come down to this 133, 134 time frame or price level. It's got about 40 more pips to go on there. I kind of hope we would base a little bit right here. Here, we'll take this and get on the floor. Come on. Here, go get the googly eyes. Go ahead. Here, go get the googly eyes. Here, get this googly eyes guy. I was really hoping that I was hoping it wouldn't be as much. I was looking for somewhat of a base, like somewhere, kind of hoping it would start to chop back and forth, and it may still do it in there. I would like to get short. I do think there is a short position in here. I do think this is the target. Kind of hoping we drive all the way down to the 133 level for next week. I don't think we're going to get that far, unfortunately. It's just a little bit far, but maybe we push down and it helps set up for next week. So, right now it's still got a little bit too much power. Again, I wanted to slow down and then take it short, but we just weren't there. Again, we knew we were high in the curve yesterday. We talked about this one going back down again, and we were expecting, they were saying it was going to be horrible, and we said, hey, listen, if it's not as bad, look to see some strength coming back in. And it's kind of what we're seeing. It's funny. George is like, yeah, everything's working. It's doing great. And this one is like accelerating down with dollar weakness. So it's kind of like, do we take what she said is good? Is it bad? How do we determine that, right? She's typically not one of the biggest movers with her statements. So people are just probably reading like, yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's working. There's more room to go. Sure. Right. Whatever. That's kind of where it's kind of how it is right now. Sorry, George. Just not the biggest powerful mover. So I like this one short, but unfortunately there's not an entry. We needed a base, and it's just not giving us the base on that one. I was hoping we get one similar to what we got with the pound yen that early morning, but it's not set up the way that we wanted it. Dollar Swiss. So Dollar Swiss had another little punch through, a little confirmation. So I like this one. We can remove this kind of, and again, we had the question of where would it bounce, and we know now. All right, so we can delete this for next week. We've now pushed up, and we are in a level right now. If you guys are looking for something right now, we're sitting right here. So we are at a 50% retracement from the most recent high to low, right? That kind of, the little pivot. Makes sense with everything we're seeing. The European session had this little spike below this 91.84. It drove all the way up and then turned right at that 9:30, 10 o'clock window. Okay. I do like this one on the downside. It kind of matches everything else we're seeing in there with some dollar weakness coming into the markets today. It's not bad. We did see some Swiss news, and again, the market kind of took that a little bit different than what I thought it would. But all it did was push up to a 50% retracement level. So on this one, if you are in this one, again, you have some room to run. I do like this one. The fact that we punched through it, and now we know that group of sellers is, that group of buyers is not as strong as they were before. I am a fan of that one. So for me, this is one that I'm looking for potentially on Sunday. I'm going to put this on here. I'm going to throw an alert on that one. And again, this goes on my watch list for next week. Because again, I know now that they finally breached those buyers. I wouldn't expect them to be there. So I'm really looking for, I mean, I guess actually I could throw this probably on the top side. Again, not a top side entry, but once it hits the top of that, I'm looking for that stable base and then taking this one short. It's got plenty of room to run all the way down to 984. It's my trade setup that I'm looking for. Again, another one of those ones for early next week as this pulls back down again. All right. Okay. Dollar yen. Dollar yen's turning a little bit early. Wanted to go just a little bit more. So we talked about the reversal. Again, we saw, unlike in the, I said it already, but Aussie yen, it was a grind. Euro yen, pound yen, both big pops. Same thing here. Here's the 7 o'clock news from yesterday. Bounced off this level and came back again. Found these guys and then just took off. They were off to the races, right? And actually, I think this one, it was kind of a 23. I drew this one last night, right? I drew it last night, but didn't put the entry. I was looking at the pound yen instead of this one. I just looked at it as being the same trade, and I like the pound news coming in. You can see it wasn't a 23 from the low to high. It did push back up, and it was just a little bit below. But again, it was just like a momentum continuation trade. Now, where it turned, it's kind of a strange spot. Let's see, where's it going to slow? Probably, maybe the 50. As of right now, it seems like today is going to be a weak dollar day. It would be nice if we could get some type of a pullback on this one. Not the nicest of trades. Yeah, I was looking for this one to be a better turning point. Unfortunately, it's gonna be like that. There's not enough over here to really give us a level of risk. If you guys are short, if you got into this one by some crazy means, again, make sure you're grabbing yourself profit around probably there 120, 130, about 70 pips from where we are. It's moved too much for me to be able to pull an entry on this one. Right. But same thinking. We expect profit taking to come in. We're expecting Aussie yen, Euro yen, pound yen, and dollar yen all drop to the downside. Just there's no entry, right? It's already moved too much, right? Now, kind of the same thinking. If we can, by some chance, if we hit this 23 and fib traders step in here and start taking this one, and it does start to rally back up again, I think that's great for this weekend, right? That would be awesome if we could do that. We know that. I'll just use this one. It's fine. Sunday is right here. If we can go anywhere down here and then pull back up to wherever the close is, that could be a nice little short trade for Monday morning. Like Sunday night into Monday morning. If this is what we do right now, and then we end right there, right? If we can, again, this would be a newly established, lower lows, right? Lower highs, lower lows. Love that. If we gap lower and pull back up to where the gap was, that could be a decent short, right? Again, a lot of it's going to depend on how much we continue to move. How much profit taking is really going to come in today is going to be the big question. So, yeah, it's kind of what we're looking at right now. Yeah, wish we had a better top on that one. What else we got here? Bitcoin over 21,000. Look at this big boy, right? Right. And then again, Ethereum. I feel like it was close yesterday. Yeah, I would say yesterday it was like 16,000, and now we're all the way back down. It looks like, man, it took a big drop down right after we talked yesterday. It took a big drop all the way back down to 15,000. Wow, huge drop there. TLT. It's funny, we have dollar weakness today, but bonds are also kicking back, and again, some of this may have had to do with China. Yeah, it's there. Oil, down a little bit, right? So oil trade. We talked about getting short oil yesterday for the news, and there was your oil setup, right? There was your level right before the 61.8. You hit it, went down, and then went back up again. But here's the reality of it. As big as that number was, and again, I don't know if you guys saw it. It was actually another big number yesterday. There you go, 8.4, right? So 2 weeks in a row. Look at this. These are monstrous numbers. They were like, nah, it's down 19. Nah, it's going to be down this week, even though they had 19 extra. Again, another 8.4. It's like, Jesus, right? It's like, wow, right? So, hold on, guys. Oh, the baby trap worked again. You're right. Hold on one sec. Somebody decided to try us. All right, he's gonna take a second. Yeah, so he fell for the baby trap again, as what Jin calls it. It's just the bin. He climbs in it and then gets stuck, and then he's not happy. But anyway, again, two big ones in a row with oil. I mean, what are we gonna say at this point? You know, since that move, again, it dropped immediately down. Everybody tried to sell it, and it immediately popped back up again. And then what did it do? It pulled right back to where it was before the news, and it flatlined. It did nothing, right? Um, where we are now, again, we're a little bit different, right? We're a little bit off from where it was, but not really, right? Down, pop, took out the shorts, came back down, and then just flatlined. Up, back down on the same level, up, back down to the same level, up, and we're just a little bit lower right now. I would say oil. Up, he's coming back in, Mr. Manflow. So again, you may hear him, cry again. He's totally fine, but it's like, oh, he's a baby. Oh, he just shut the door on me. Now he's mad at me. Anyway, so oil's in a very interesting spot, and the reason why I say that is because with all the talk of China reopening and their COVID not being as bad, even though some of the rates are a little bit questionable. The EU basically said that the competition for energy would drive inflation, particularly in energies. So, with that being said, are we going to see somewhat of a rally next week? We potentially could in oil. So I think having the extra supply is the only thing that's keeping this from Buds from going absolutely crazy. Here, Buds. Here, you're totally fine. Here, you're okay. Um, I think if this pulls back again, if we get any decent pullback, I think oil next week. I hate to say it, I feel like oil could be along next week. Right now, I don't think there's a trade for the rest of today. Buds, what you doing? You're okay. Yes, you're okay. You're okay. Um, so yeah, I don't think we got a short today on it, but I think next week, I think you're looking for a long. Natural gas, not doing much. So natural gas, actually, I'm happy to report. Shh, it's okay. You're okay. You're okay. It did break. We said that it was gonna retrace, and it hasn't. It continued to go a bit lower, which I'm cool with. Um, You're okay, buds. Um, it got down to like almost 310. I don't know if you guys can see it right here. We got down to 310.08, right? Buds. It's okay. My 15-month huge baby. Um, Buds, nobody can hear you if you're crying. Nobody can hear. It's okay. Here. Here, you want this? Here you go. You're fine. Um, I think this is a good sign. I think while we may see a pop in crude oil next week, I think this one is poised right now. And let me draw a fib on this one. I had this one out here earlier. You can see if we can get any more movement up back into this 340 range, I think this is a decent level. There's basing there. There's a nice pop off of that one, and that should continue to push it back to the downside. Now, what I'm wondering is, again, we had these two small ones. This kind of looks like it's a big one. Are we going to see the pop instead of being to there? Are we going to see the pop up to here? Which again, if we have the same measured move pop, it's coming back up to the 50%, which is also a great level to take this one short next week. So why I'm thinking long oil next week, I'm thinking next week could be a natural gas move back below 3, which Again, I'm all on board with that one. I love that one. Gold. Yes, buddy. That's how I feel about gold too. Me too. I know. Me too, right? Um, so we were looking for a top yesterday in gold, and we said, hey, if it bounces above, look for this. You're fine. Yeah, what's that? What's that? You're okay. Um, I think this is a great way to end the week with a poised high. Bye buds. Bye buds. Here. Here, get this. Here. You want this? What's this? Here. See, you're fine. You're not crying. Here. Here, want some of this? There you go. I like this one up where it is. I think this 19, where we at? 1928.50, right? Here. Bye buds. You're not helping today. Here, on this shoulder. There you go. There you go. This is going to be one of those days. Where this is right now, again, we can move this a little bit higher. We're looking for kind of a confirmed top. I feel like we have it now. I think next week when we start talking about what the next raise is going to be early in the week, I feel like that's where we're going to have to pull the trigger. Now, it could be a Sunday night, it could be a Monday morning move, but I think either one of those any type of comment about what the next move looks like, I think is where this thing starts to turn and roll back to the downside. Because we. What, Bubba? What, you're okay. You're okay. He's like, pay attention to him. Hold on, Bubba. Bubba. Hold on one sec, guys. All right. He's in the other room. It's like, oh, he's killing me. Anyway, with gold, I like this one. Take this one short next week. I think we're good to go on it. Silver, you can see silver should be double what gold is. It's up 0.19, gold's down 0.19, so it's not trending. There's no momentum behind it right now. And you can see it's a quick chop down, quick chop back up again. It's kind of at a level, kind of giving us a base, but we talked yesterday about how 24 is going to be a level that people are selling off of, and they did. Um, Super early morning, the European session at 2:30. That's where the sell came at, right at 24. All it did was it pushed it back down again. So, at this point, it hasn't hit the 78, but I'll take it off just for visual purposes. So people are like, well, look, it hit this. Didn't. This is what we're looking at right now. Now, areas that we're going to have to watch out for, my opinion right now, is this 50% mark right down here at 2360. I think this is going to be a sticking point. I think if we come down here, and again, we're rallying a little bit up right now, this is going to be a level that we need to look out for because I think this is going to give us some movement on Sunday. If we could open there, that would be great. But I think this is going to be the determining factor of whether Monday is up or down in silver is the bounce that it takes off of 2360. So again, if you're looking to play, the gold silver relationship, again, look at this one. This is, I think, whoops. I think this is the I think it's a better technical setup right now than gold is, as far as determining what the direction is going to be for Monday. All right. All right. Looking at the indices, looks like all the indices are back up, but just barely. Right. We have the ES up 0.5%. What do we got going on here? And again, we had some consolidating in on this one. It did go down and grab it, but let me remove these just so we can get a clear picture of it real quick. Go to a 15-minute. All right. So looking at confirmed zones, we had a zone down here, but not really confirmed. As you can see, that was as close as we got at 5 o'clock. Here was the opening print for today. Actually opened here. It didn't hit it. On the top side, kind of the same thing. Again, you could say, well, wait a second. Look, there's a confirmation of the level right there. There's your confirmation. Yeah, but at the same time, it's already hit it here. It's hit it here. It's hit it here. It's hit it here. There's 4 hits. Let me send that across. There's 4 hits. So this is not an area where we're like, yep, we're looking to take that one, right? It's just, looking at it, you're like, God, what do we do with that? Hold on one sec, guys. Okay, it's fine. It wasn't really an opening print setup today. It was in the level way too many times for that one to be a good level. Yeah, it did turn here, but that's 9:15. So again, the 9 and 9:15 were both green. We were looking for a short out of it, but the reality is, it hit the zone too many times. I guess you could have drawn it here with that confirmation, but depending on where you placed it, if it was at the top or the bottom, maybe you got into that one. But again, your 1 to 3 would have been very, very difficult. So, again, yesterday it wasn't a good setup. Today, not really as well. And again, there was really no movement this morning. So we'll see. NQ. Now this one. Okay, now this one, here's your level of basing. There's your confirmation off of it. So this one, there's your 9, should be 9:30. Yep, 9:30 is right there. So this actually did have a long setup off of it. So at least we got one today. Right there. And 1 to 3 is sitting right there. Now, we knew we had a zone up top, but again, it's the very, very peak of that one. All I had to do was just basically touch it to get your 1 to 3. So there you go. And again, looking for that confirmation of the most recent level of basing. So this one worked out well. That wasn't bad. 26 in the direction. 26 was a stop. 75 or 78 in the other direction. So there's one. Let's see what we got with YM. No, unfortunately. I don't really like any of the bases in here. Not really. I mean, there's a little one here. Doesn't hit and doesn't even get remotely close. Taken in the other direction, again, base 1, 2, 3, and 4 doesn't qualify for a long. So unfortunately, YM is nothing. Nothing with YM. Russell. All right, so yesterday Russell's trade worked out well. Here's the basing and there's the touch right there. There's the confirmation. It did trigger. So again, this would have also been a long position today. And again, this one, your 1 to 3 is actually right there. So that one also worked. So it looks like as far as opening print goes, it looks like you had what? NQ? Yeah. You had NQ, you had YM, both qualified. ES did not. I mean, maybe you try to take a short of that one, but that was kind of iffy depending on where you drew it. The zone is a little bit higher over here. And then again, YM, definitely just too far from it. So, it was okay. 2 out of 4 today. Much cleaner setups yesterday, but was 0 4 as far as opening print goes. Or actually 1 for 4, I guess it was yesterday. So, not bad. That's it for today. What do we got here with Apple real quick? Apple trying to grind back up again. Tesla up big again. Not a bad day. Up 3%. So, look, you're seeing commodities mixed. Let's see, is the VIX bumping at all? Nah, VIX is going down, which it should, which is leading everything else higher. And the dollar, yeah, there's that dollar kind of reversal at the session change, but we're running the buyers now. So, it's an all right Friday. It's starting to move now a little bit more. You're seeing that the yen pairs. This was up 200 something pips. Now it's only 125 and then 214. Euro pound totally leveled out, so it's nothing there. 35 here. So a little bit more movement as the dollar is weakening now in the U.S. session, which again, from early on looks like that was going to be the trend for the day. So it'll probably continue out, but that's good because again, I do feel that next week is going to be a dollar strong base day. So, all right, well that's it for today. Let's go ahead and do the drawing. I got to go deal with Man Baby. He's still pissed off. He's totally fine. He gets angry and then gets a temper and it lasts forever. So let's close it down and let's see who the winner is today. Winner is Marina. Man, a different winner every day this week. Look at that, man. We are just passing it around. Look at that. Leaderboard. Let's go give it over here. Let's get her 25 points. Bam. There we go. All right. So only 9%. Look at that. And there was some, you had some big, I think Neuro was in with 4 there. So trying to see if there's anything else. Here's whether your face is set. No, I don't care about that one. So that's it. Yeah, that failed, right? What are you gonna do? Inflation is too high. Focus on price stability and absolutely essential for central banks. Yeah. Inflation is too high. They only have 2.8%. Yeah, poor UK. The poor UK at 10.7. All right, so that ends us for the week. So I will be back on Monday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, or 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Where we are with a lot of positions right now, I think Sunday night has a lot of opportunities. I may or may not be on Sunday night. We have LaxCon this weekend in Baltimore, so I'm literally going to be there all weekend. I actually go today at 3 o'clock. I'm there from 3 to 8 tonight with classes. Tomorrow, 9 a in the morning till 7 at night, and then I have to go coach a box game at 8. So I'll be smoked and dead on Sunday, and then Sunday maybe back again 8 a.m. in the morning. So we will see. It'll be a long recovery. A lot of sitting on my butt, taking notes, listening to people. Yeah, it's gonna be a long one of those weekends where I'm just mentally fried. But Sunday night I actually should be around, and I think there's some great opportunities. So if I'm on, I'll hop online. If not, I'll catch you guys Monday morning. With that said, you guys have a great, safe weekend. Thank you for joining me today, and I will catch you guys next week. Take care.